Indiana made us wait for their season opener, and by result, we made you wait, Indiana fans. Sorry. This is not our normal one day before the game posting of a preview. I promise we were not trying to ghost Indiana. We just simply didn't realize they played on Wednesday. We thought this game was Thursday, and that's on me. Hand up.
We wanted to give it. Listen, the college football playoff reveal was yesterday. We didn't want to take away from Mendoza and Cinetti and the crew. To be honest, they deserve to have that moment without a Indiana Alabama A&M preview, respectfully.
You're football school now. Deal with it. Football
Yeah.
schools get basketball previews 4 hours before the game instead of 24 hours before the game. Indiana, Alabama A&M, Wednesday night. Ken Palm says Indiana by 24 points, expecting 85 from the Hoosiers in this game. Alabama A&M is 1-0. They played Monday against a non-Division One opponent called Blue Mountain. I have no idea if that's Blue Mountain State or what from the show. An 80-60 victory for Alabama A&M. If you're wondering about Alabama A&M last year, horrible basketball team. 10-22 overall, 6-12 in the SWAC. They were outside the top 330 in both offense and defensive adjusted efficiency. They do not really do anything well other than force turnovers. At least that was last year's team. How much of a threat is this for Indiana in the first game of the season?
I don't think it's a threat. Now obviously you want to see the Indiana team be able to come out strong because I mean think back to early non-conference last year with Mike Woodson. They were playing with their food in for a lot of those games in the first half especially. Now they picked it up. Don't get me wrong, but they played with their food a lot. This is, for lack of a better term and a more endearing term, this is an inferior opponent at home. First game of the year. I want a 25-7 lead at the first media timeout. I think that's what it should look like. I think there should be a domination from tip. I think everyone should get on the floor. I think everyone should be involved. And obviously, things change on a game to game basis, on a season to season basis as well. Hand up here. Not sure how much has changed with Alabama A&M. But anytime this team played a team in the top 100 last year, they lost by 30. They played teams in
Gross.
the top 50, they lost by 50.
Yuck.
So this should be a team that you blow out by a lot.
One would think.
If you don't, we'll tune in for the recap and find out.
Are you threatening Darren DeVries right now?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
What?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
That's a hilarious note to start the DeVries era on. The guy that took the mantle from Mike Woodson, who was your biggest op, being threatened if he doesn't beat a cupcake by enough in game one is so funny to me.
They need to.
Or what?
Or the recap's going to be longer than it is short.
Okay, all right, Cart. Um, Anybody on this team, you're probably gonna just say no, but anybody on this team that Indiana fans should know about, we've tried to diagnose at least one or two different guys on every opponent that is a cupcake that plays one of the teams we've covered in the hopes of like, yeah, here's something to keep an eye out for. Some of them have hit, some of them have missed horribly. Like the
Yeah, some of them airballed, one might say.
yeah, the Purdue guard, I was like, I love this dude's headshot. And then he airballed a free throw. A&M's team this year is full of new faces. It is largely the Grambling State roster from last season. That is because Dante Jackson was at Grambling State last year. Now, Grambling State, mind you, had some pretty good seasons in the SWAC. Two of the last
Mhm.
three seasons finished with 20 or more wins. Um, Kind of funny that the Grambling State head coach was hired by an interconference opponent after a 12-22 season. I don't know if that's the most inspiring hire, but basically this team that at Grambling last year went 12-22 is now wearing Alabama A&M jerseys. There are seven different Grambling State transfers on this roster. So, who's a name you should keep an eye out for, and is there even one?
So the team they played in the first game, Blue Mountain, went 11-17 last year at the non-division one level. Um, so taking away carry the two, they beat that team by 20. Um, I will say they're more of a threat than last year, just given the players they're able to bring from Grambling State. But I'm not going to come on here and I don't know if there's a player that I would identify as like, oh, watch out, that's a Bloomington killer. I think it's a more so just when you play these first teams in the first game, you are maybe this is it. It's not a player situation. You're playing guys that have played together, and you're an Indiana team that has not played together a lot. That's probably my angle here.
Yeah, okay. Fair. I think that's a totally fair angle. Where do you think the emotional approach from this game from an Indiana standpoint is? First game at Assembly Hall. Big moment for the DeVries family. Big moment for Lamar Wilkerson, who turned down Kentucky to be here. Big moment for Trent Sisley, an in-state kid. Big moment for Tate Connerway, the heart of the team.
Mhm.
Big moment for Connor Enright, who's waited for this his entire career. I'm trying to build suspense without laughing, and I kind of can't do that last one. You could tell me, like, some teams I think approach games like this and want to win by 90. And then some teams approach games like this and are like, let's just stay healthy. Which do you think is going to be the DeVries approach here for Indiana?
What time is this game?
Let me look that up for you.
Because that actually means something.
Why?
Is it like a 6 p.m. game?
Why?
Oh, the game it's today. No, never mind. Sorry. I thought we were looking at
It's at
no.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, 8 p.m. I'm not sure they changed the day of the week situations in Bloomington yet, but that does sometimes play a factor. No, I think they want to be able to come out in this one, feel good about themselves, have a good time, put on a show for the Indiana fans who I think are very happy right now in general. I think they're very happy with their football team. I think they're very happy with their coach. They're very it's good vibes in Bloomington. I don't think I'd be able to walk into the family room at Assembly Hall this year. Things are changing. I think the vibes are very happy around the program, and I think it would go a long way for them to just blow this team out by 40 to keep those vibes high.
Okay. Okay. So Grambling plays slow. That's my one note. Because otherwise, I would suspect like a 40-point win. But Grambling, Dante Jackson's team, all these guys who are now at Alabama and A&M, played the 339th tempo in the sport
Mm.
last year. Again, the scout from me that all they did well was force turnovers is true. They had the 97th best turnover forcing rate in the sport. They had the 39th best 2-point defense, but I think that's largely a result of the competition level they were playing at. None of their rim protection stuff will hold up against Indiana, I would assume. So I don't know. Like, is that enough to like make you think just they're gonna play slow? Does that does that talk you off of Indiana should destroy this team?
No, I don't think so. I just think that the talent's going to be able to show in this one. You want to put on a show. Been a lot of shows put on across college basketball. Would love to see Lamar Wilkerson like 25-point outing in 25 minutes with like seven threes. That'd be fun. Um, and I don't think, I think there's concerns about Indiana's front court. So I think one thing I'm more so looking at in a game like this is seeing how this front court looks against a lesser front court. Like this would be a front court that even if you are front court deficient, you should be able to assert your dominance.
What would scare you from a results oriented view? What is the number here? Indiana wins by blank that would have you like, whoa, that's bad.
25,
That seems that seems high. A 25 point, you'd be like, this was terrible. Come on.
21,
Like a 10-point game to me would be like, yeah,
10-point game.
yeah, 10-point game would be, yeah.
10-point game, I'd be canceling Mike Wilson's tea time.
Do you know what Dante Jackson's team did against some pretty good opponents last year?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
First game of the season, first real game of the season at Ole Miss. They lost by 2 points, 66 to 64 to Chris Beard and the team he took to a Sweet 16.
Mm. Okay. All right, Grandma.
Then they went to Florida. You know what they lost to Florida by?
Oh, I remember that game, I think, being close.
24. Then they went to USC. You know what they lost to USC by?
What?
11.
All right. Maybe a little bit too high for me. I'd still be upset at a 15-point win.
Then they went to Cincy and lost by 35.
Okay. What to West
So it
Milton?
is possible to blow out Alabama A&M, I think.
Okay.
Let's get
Um,
to predictions. I have a player specific question that I want to score from you. Who leads Indiana in scoring?
Tucker DeVries.
Give me Lamar. I think Lamar starts on a really, really high note and gets you like 28 or some eye-popping number. Let's predict this. Ken Pom has Indiana by conveniently 24 points.
Is
Ken
that what
Pom,
he has about?
Ken Pom projects the exact number you said you would be panicked by if Indiana only wins by 85-61 is the projected final score in Assembly Hall. What is your outlook?
I have Indiana winning, I'm gonna say 91-59.
Big one. Okay.
Big one.
I think Indiana will only be up single digits at halftime, and I think they will pull away and win by 30 plus.
Evans.
That's my projection.
Evans.
Yeah.